Welcome to the MagiReco News. I'm your anchor, the Rosiella, and even if my room will grow in size, the number of hairs on my head will not. Our top story today. We are going to check the Japanese server news from now specifically, and only those, because of course the North American server is going to be RIP'd. So right now, of course, and for the rest of all of these videos, we're only going to worry about the Japanese news. And no, I'm not going to do Chinese news or Taiwan news, because there's going to be behind the Japanese server anyway. So our top story today is stuff is actually being announced once again after the anniversary has ended, and we had the Kazumi rerun, which was, it was just a rerun, so nothing special, but we are getting back to actually getting new stuff, new and exciting stuff. Most importantly, probably the top story for all of this is that we are getting the avatar of friendship and wholesomeness and pureness and innocence and all the good qualities that you expect people to have that are very, very cute. So, but enough for now about how great Shizuka is as a character, and more about how great Shizuka is in that, well, I'm gonna have to make a video about that, of course, how good is Shizuka, but I know a lot of people might be used by now that I'm going to be making these how good are these characters videos right after I make these news videos. However, that was only possible on the North American server because, well, we already knew the characters and we could just look up all their information. But now that we have fresh characters from the Japanese server, we will actually have to wait for these to be put into the game, and then we have to wait a bit longer for all the information about them being, well, documented well enough. Like, for example, the percentage bonuses that they get, for example, on their connect. Because, of course, for example, if you see something like Attack Up 7, it might be 35 to 40%, could be anything else, because as you always know, these Roman numerals don't really match up between other effects. Like some attack up 5s are 25%, some attack up 5s are 20%. The game doesn't really know. So this is why we need to actually wait for first of the character to come out, and then to actually have some people go in and dig around to see what the actual percentages are, and we need to document the spirit enhancement, all the spirit enhancement effects. So it's going to take a little while, maybe like 1 or 2 days after she's already been released, to get all the information on her that we need. So if you're wondering if you should pull for her or not, you will need to wait like 1 or 2 days after she's been released, and it will be like this for every single future character being released as well, that you'll just have to wait a little bit just to see how good they actually are. But I mean, these gachas run for over a week, so if you have to wait like 1 or 2 days, it's not gonna go anywhere. More importantly, though, there's a bunch of cool stuff in here that hopefully ends up being the way that we assume it will be, because there is this passive ability right here that apparently at the start of combat gives every single one of her teammates, probably including herself, a big attack up and a big defense up for 5 turns, which sounds pretty darn broken. However, right now we just don't know, because it says at the beginning of a quest. We don't know if this is PvE only or if this also works in mirrors. There have been some people saying that the way it's worded it's worded the same way like EX passives are worded from MagiReco, for example, so it should work in mirrors as well. But other people have said probably not, because it would be way too powerful on a random unlimited character. But then other people have said, well, she's the leader of a faction, so maybe she's actually supposed to be this special. I don't know. We really don't know yet. We really just need to wait until she releases. But it's possible that her effect of increasing everyone's attack and defense at the start of combat works even in mirrors. But if you think that sounds awesome to you, you will probably have to wait for more specific information, especially when I actually end up making the How Good Is video to talk about, well, if it actually works in mirrors or not, because by then we will have the information if it works or not. More importantly, we have some more memoria, of course, as you would expect, and one of those memorias looks pretty darn good. This one right here, I'm going to have to talk a little bit in the video as well, but I can tell you already right now, you know that Iroha Flower Bed Memoria that gives like attack up 40%, okay, maybe not that much, like attack up 25% and like defense up 37.5% and stuff like that? This memoria is exactly that, but passively. Iroha Flower Bed Memoria passively. That's pretty darn good. So this is an unlimited memoria, so you don't need to worry about having to draw for this one specifically as well in the gacha, because it's unlimited, and therefore you'll just randomly get it over the next few months, years, whatever, how long you're playing MagiReco. And then this one is also I think like attack up and then status aim and resistance up for 3 turns. However, 3 turns, that's pretty good. So it seems like Shizuka is all about attack up and just basic stats like defense and stuff like that. But like I said, more in the video. I just want to make quick mentions of it right here, because usually I have the video come out right after this, but because I can't do that right now, I'm at least gonna give you like some very basic ideas of what this stuff is. And the 3-star Memoria says, I think if you translate this into English, it says no one cares about 3-star Memoria, so who gives a shit. Moving on with other news that I've sort of alluded to earlier, is that we have another story chapters. In case you've already seen the another story chapter that came out before this, because there was already another story chapter for Arc 2. And that one I think was about Kako and Ayame and basically Kako's harem. I think that was the first Arc 2 another story chapter what that was about. This one seems to be about Haguremu and Shigure, aka Team Total Incompetence, and we're gonna see what sort of incompetence they're getting ourselves into in this another story chapter. We also have a whole bunch of other stuff, just a bunch of small stuff. For example, right here, this is just a little campaign to tell you like, hey guys, we're giving you new stories that you can unlock with these records. So I talked about this before, these broken records. I think they're called fragments of remembrance or something like that. With these you can unlock stories that you haven't taken part in yourself. For example, if you start playing right now, of course you haven't been around for the Crimson Resolve event, but you can use one of these items, just one of them, to unlock the entirety of Crimson Resolve, just to see the story. You can't play it, but you can see the story at least of that entire event. And they're saying, well, we didn't have every single event included in there, like you couldn't unlock every single event story with this, but now they're adding a whole bunch more events right here. For example, I think this is Valentine's Nagisa event part 1 and 2, for example, that now you can also use a fragment of remembrance on to unlock these stories. And I think that these are like new dailies that they're doing just for this event for like a week or two. For like 10 days, you get new daily missions where you can get more fragments of remembrance when you do those dailies, just to get people going in case you are on a new account and you can read Japanese or are willing to go through these stories with some sort of translation software. You can now get even more stories delivered to you, and you're going to get more fragments of remembrance. If you want to get even more of them, keep in mind they are very cheap in the Mirror Coin shop. Moving on, we also, because Tokime Clan is all about friendship and unity and fighting for the greater good and all that sort of stuff, we're also getting another gacha on top of the Shizuka gacha, which is just having some, basically all the other Tokime girls that you know. So, by the way, in case you didn't know that yet, Yoko and Chika, they're also part of Tokime Clan, and they will all be part of this gacha. So you have a gacha with little detective Charu, our gacha with the little assassin murderer death cult leader Sunao, and you have our little loves dies Yoko. In case you don't know yet about Yoko, she's really into legs and especially thighs. And I mean, some people might think this is a meme or something, this is from MagiReco or whatever. No, she literally tells people in the actual official story, oh, I like your legs, you've got really firm and good thighs. She's so goddamn thirsty for legs and thighs, and I think some of us can take that as a way of appreciating this character, even though she's not actually that amazing. I mean, she's fine, but yeah, whatever. And then we have Chika, who is an orc, because people at least call her that, because if you look at her attack stance, look at the very top left here, she just stands like an orc, like hunched over forwards with her little axes and goes bunga bunga bunga. And so people say that she's basically like an orc. She's a 3-star who can't reach 5-star, like she's max at 4-star, whatever. But just so you know that this is a gacha that's running as well, in case you want to take your luck and want any of these 3 characters. But here's the thing, if you want any of these 3 characters, probably not a good idea to roll this gacha, because if you, I think, actually I don't know exactly how it is, but it might be that the 60% rate up that a character usually has might be spread across all these 3 characters or something. I don't know. One way or another, it's probably not a good chance to get any specific one of these. But if you, in case you want all 3 of these, sure, I guess. But yeah, at least you know that that is a gacha that is running as well. They also have the actual event that is running, because we've got all these gachas, all this other stuff. What's the actual gameplay event? Are we getting a Tokime Clan event? Like Dream Jasper Diviners? No, it's actually just a training. It's actually literally just a training for Shizuka, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, for newbies that have started their account recently, that's actually pretty good. to get a character up there. Like, let's say you still have like 1 or 2 characters that are supposed to be part of your main team, your core team, that you still haven't gotten all the way to 100, or you still haven't gotten their episode level to 5 yet, or you just want to gather a whole bunch of more materials or any of that stuff. And at least this training will be here to help you out with that. So at least it's fine for fresher accounts to get something to get your core team a bit better into shape. And if you do want to draw for Shizuka, you will be able to train her as well. Awesome. And then there's one last thing which I don't really care about, because I mean, me personally, I know a lot of people care about. I'm just saying that because the thing is, in Germany and in the EU in general, Apple iPhones are not actually that widespread. Like, yeah, people have them in some places, but it's mostly Android stuff. Like in the EU, it's mostly Android all over the place, and Apple phones are not that big a deal. However, I know that of course the Apple iPhones are a lot more important in the US, and for all the people who are playing from the US who have got the inferior iPhones over the way superior Android. No, I'm just memeing. The thing is, there is actually some truth to that. I'm not just memeing. I'm not trying to sell you on like Android versus iPhone. The thing is more so that recently, of course, I've tried to get people to install the Japanese version, and if you just look on the wiki on all these different ways that you can install the Japanese version, there's like 20 different ways you can do it if you've got an Android phone, and some of which are literally as easy as you just install this and then you've got it. Like, it's literally that simple on Android phones to install the Japanese version of MagiReco. But if you've got an iPhone, you need to do some really crazy esoteric shit and even like get a Japanese phone number and all that kind of stuff, like Japanese account, and it's like really super weird and crazy and hard to do. But if you got an Android phone, you just click a button and you got it. And because of that, I usually tell people like, hey, if you want to play not just MagiReco but mobile games in general, probably go for Androids, because Androids have way better support from communities in general, and iPhones are like really hard to actually get stuff done. However, if you actually get back to this news right here, I know some people have said that they have had trouble with specific versions of iOS. I think iOS 14 as it says right here, and they're basically just saying very soon, not right now, but very soon, like next days, weeks, or whatever, we don't know when, they're going to make sure that iOS 14 and iPadOS 14 works. But they don't know exactly when. Just soon, very soon, next few days. Don't worry about it. We're working on it, basically, because a lot of people have been very sad that the game doesn't work correctly anymore on newer versions of iOS, and now they're basically saying we're working on it, basically. So yeah, that's that. Those are all the news so far. Like I said, once again, the how good is Shizuka video will have to wait a little bit after the release. So watch out for that. If you still don't know if you want to draw her or not, just wait a few days, 1 or 2 days after the release of her for that video. Don't worry, the gacha goes way longer than that. You'll have plenty of time. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hit that subscribe button for more MagiReco content all over the place, and I'll see you guys next time.